What's up, boys and girls? It's good to see your guys' faces again. In today's video we're going to be doing a bit of an editing tutorial. In my past few posts I've been posting carousel posts, you know, that like slidey post. I think it's called a carousel post, but anyways, what I've been doing is I've been changing it up a bit, making it one seamless photo almost, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how you guys can achieve that look as well. So the main purpose why I started doing that was because I had all these photos from a certain like sunset or like sunrise photo mission, and I felt like posting the one photo by itself didn't convey enough of the story and feeling that I wanted it to. So I thought, you know, being basic and just, you know, posting a bunch of photos and a carousel post is just like what everyone does. So how can I change it to make it a bit more interesting and a little bit more exciting? And that's why I kind of came across this idea of making it like one seamless photo while you're busy scrolling through the posts. To do this, you guys will need Adobe Photoshop. In the description, there is a link for Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom, two of the main softwares that I use for all of my photos. It is for a paid subscription, although I can bet all of us probably who use this stuff frequently have cracked it, so don't worry. So the first thing that you want to check is Instagram portrait posts. Now the largest size that you can post in a portrait is 1080 by width and 1350 by height. That is the maximum portrait size that you can post in, and that is what we want, right? Photoshop, you're gonna go to create new, you're gonna go to your width and height, right? So your height is gonna be 1350, right? Because that's the maximum size on Instagram post, and then your width. This is where the trick comes in, right? How many carousel posts do you want? How many like pictures do you, like slides do you want? I typically do 6 because I take quite a lot of photos whenever I do these sunset, sunrise missions or whatever missions that I do. I use 6 slides because I feel like that's the best way to portray my story or my feeling that I want to convey, right? So for 6, what you want to do is 1080, right? Because that's the width of a single post. 1080 times 6. I hope that makes sense. What's 1080 times 6? 6,480. This is going to make one massive long landscape photo, but we're going to see in a second. So head down to create, press enter, there we go, right? So, but now you're asking, how do you divide that up equally into 6 different pictures? Like, Simon, how do you do that, right? What you want to do is go to view, go to new guide layout, go to columns, number 6, copy all these same settings, 6, mine's already on 6 because that's what I used last time, press OK, right? Perfect. So each block basically is a single slide by itself. I hope that makes sense so far. So first thing you want to do is import your photos, right? So we're going to be doing this, put that photo over there. We've finally done the background for this post, but as you can see, there are these hard edge cuts. The composition of each photo isn't nice, but one thing I do get asked a lot about my carousel posts is how do I get that gradient type of effect where each photo almost like fades in to each photo. How you do that is, let's click on our first photo over here, which is that one. We're not going to fade that one, we're going to fade the one above it, which is the photo of me taking a photo of myself in the mirror. You're going to go closer into it, you're going to hit this picture down here. I'm actually not sure what it's called. Add layer mask, it's a layer mask, there you go. It creates a little white block over there next to your photo. Then you're going to press G, which is your gradient tool. So picture over there on the side. Basically all you want to do is press side to side like that. There you go, it's basically done it. But you want to do this in such a way that you don't compromise the composition of your photo. So I don't really like how it cut off half of the mirror here. I don't feel like it's making the photo look good, if that makes sense. So we're just going to redo that, press Command Z to undo a mistake. Okay, that should, okay, cool, that should do it. Now you're going to do the same thing for every other photo. Add another layer mask again, go to G so that it can fade into the next photo. Try to prevent doing the gradient thing where you're going to crop the photo, because the whole point of the gradient thing is that you want your person who's busy looking at your carousel post to halfway stop while they're busy looking through the carousel post. I'll show an example here on my phone, where they stop halfway and then they can actually see where the photo fades. If you do it on the part where you cut the photo with the crop, it loses that effect of fading. I hope that makes sense. Okay, perfect. Now we've basically done the most of the hard work, where it's that fading into each photo and making sure that the fading over doesn't happen exactly where you're gonna crop the photo. Next thing you want to do is, you have so many other photos that you want to include, but there's not really enough space because you don't want to take more than 6 slides, because then people might get bored after the 6 slides. So you want to keep the engagement good. What you want to do is, you want to add photos in your negative spaced areas. So for example, here next to the person's head here in the open sky, there's space there. You can put a landscape photo in there, and usually a landscape photo isn't very friendly with a portrait post, if that makes sense. So this photo over here that I took of my mate's drone while I was busy flying, just pop it right there. You can make it a bit bigger if you want to. Now the awesome part about this is that because the photo falls perfectly in line with where it's going to be cropped, when the person is busy looking at your carousel post, it forces them to actually stop halfway while they're busy scrolling to look at that entire photo that you've put over where you're going to crop it. I hope that makes sense. I think I'm rather, for that photo over there, I'm going to use this photo that I took through the car front dash, and that conveys more of the feeling of this photo as well through the car dash while we were busy driving. Okay, there we go. That's basically the gist of it. Now, one thing that I can also give some advice on is that these photos that are added on top, they seem a bit displaced. They don't like fade in nicely. So a nice thing that you can do is click V, click on the photo. Automatically in your layers over here, it'll select that photo. Double click on the photo, go to stroke, which is over there. Make the size, like, I wouldn't say bigger than 4. You don't want it to be too overpowering. And then also go to outer glow. You just want to give it a nice little glow, as if it's like for prettiness, I guess. Alright, you want to make the spread a bit smaller because you don't want to make it overpowering the shot. We're going to do the same thing with all the other photos as well. And so yeah, that's basically how I did it. The main purpose of this carousel post is really trying to convey a story through photos, almost like watching a video, trying to convey that story through this carousel post. I feel like this carousel right here perfectly sums up the evening of that sunset mission that we did. Sure, each photo here is a post-worthy photo by itself, but I just felt like having all these photos together complements each other to create a nice storyline effect. I've probably said storyline kind of effect a million times now. As you can see, if I were to have posted this photo of the dam by itself, I feel like it would have been very random. People would have been like, what does this mean? Like, there's no like story behind it. There's no meaning behind it. And so yeah, that's basically how you make it in Photoshop. Now for the cropping part and sending it to your phone. I work on Apple devices, so I just airdrop it to myself. But basically what you want to do is to crop it first, is you want to go over to your crop tool over here at the top left, go up there to 4:5. So immediately, this is what Photoshop is going to do. Don't move it, otherwise you're going to lose the exact placement of your photos. Just take the side here, move it all the way to the end there, then bring this side and move it all the way to the blue part over there. Press enter. It might take a bit of time because it has to like compress everything to make it that one photo. And so you're just going to go to File, Save As. I would say go to your desktop, save it as 1, save it as JPEG, and then each photo save it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way when it goes to your phone, it doesn't mix match the order. So when you're in Instagram, you want to select your first photo, which was this one. You want to press the collage button in the bottom right. You're going to select all your photos at the top right. Press next, next. And this is the moment of truth. This is where you're going to check if your photos perfectly line up. So you're going to go up there, preview. Perfect, that lines up. 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 As I was saying earlier, the photos that you've put in the middle of like a swipe, it forces the viewer to actually stop, pay attention to the photo and take it in. This way your engagement actually goes a bit more up because it almost forces the viewer to actually look at the photo and not just 1, 2, 3, 4 swipe and then go continue swiping on their feed. This is where I'll be ending the video. I hope you guys managed to learn something new from today's tutorial. If you end up using this method, please do tag me in your photos. Let me know about it. I'm keen to see what you guys get up to with this technique. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Cheers. I've been struggling so much to put... I've been struggling so much to record this video,